Well, it made me go change my password before it let me join. So I'm glad I started early.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of discussion on that on the IETF mailing list before the last IETF, I think.
Oh, I'll bet there was.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it.
It made me add 2 characters to the length of my password. It now requires 10 digits or characters instead of 8. Or 12 instead of 10 or something. Anyway, great. Looks like everyone's joining.
Yeah, no, there was a bit of a mix-up with the time zones when we discussed this at the Madrid meeting. Would it be, well, this time or 1 hour before or later? But I hope most got it right. Or I don't know what is actually the right, but at least we have right now a bunch of people, so maybe this is the right slot.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Let's give it a few minutes.
Hello.
If someone has joined. Okay, so I just got a message from Michael. He will not be able to attend today, so I guess we can start already. Welcome everyone. Let me share the share slide. Yeah. Okay. So can I have some note-taking volunteer?
I can help here.
Thank you so much, Ari. Okay, so this is the agenda that I have for today, and I'm open also to suggestions and things that I did not include. Are there any requests from the audience for discussing things that are not in the agenda?
So I think we could have a brief discussion on the instance information draft in the context of, no pun intended, in the context of the SDF non-affordance draft. So we had some discussion in Madrid about a potential alignment, and yeah, just wanted to mention that we can also have a look at the draft on the instance information draft under this agenda point.
Yeah, okay, we can do that, of course. Then I wanted to ask something to Yoon-Jon and Junga. Are there any updates also on your side?
Hi, this is Zhonghua. We don't have any updates. We just posted as the working group draft. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, we can actually start with those now. And I guess there are some updates on NIPSI, right, Bart? There's one new version.
Yeah, correct. There's some few new versions which address like some of a lot of the issues already, not all of them, but yeah, there's been we did post a new one.
Okay, great. Okay, so then I start now with some administrative stuff and updates on the working documents. And maybe we can start with Jan, and then we proceed with NIPSI, and then we have some updates on a new draft. Okay, just a second, Jan. Let me follow the procedure. No worries. So the note well. So remember that in this meeting the IETF policies apply. The meeting is also recorded. Please, you find more information in the links if anything is not clear here. But yeah, generally the code of conduct is like, be nice, speak slowly, limit slang, and yeah, try to make the best decision for contributing to the internet. And yeah, so a quick update on the working group documents. So we have a new draft led by Rohit, and then co-authors are Bart and myself at the moment. It's about standardizing SDF protocol mappings. Most likely it will be a registry that points to protocol mappings to allow SDF models to interact with external ecosystems like Bluetooth, Zigbee, etc. Then we finally adopted two more drafts, like specifically the digital twin draft and the SDF non-affordance draft, and we have some updates from LibC. So these are the updates on the working documents, and now I leave the floor to Jan.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll try to share my screen here.
Okay. Did it work?
All the slots for the Cresta Media are already taken.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to stop sharing the slide deck.
I see.
That's my fault. Go ahead.
Thank you. Let me try again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That
Works,
seems to work. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Just need to select the correct window. Okay, yeah. So in Madrid, Junga, Xiangjin.
Can you increase the font size?
Oh, of course.
Usual?
Yeah. So yeah, we had this conflict, or this conceptual conflict, so to speak, between the instance information draft and the SDF non-affordance draft, which I think also came up in Madrid during the meeting. And afterward, we had a discussion about a potential alignment. I think Junga already presented some potential ideas for renaming the SDF non-affordance keyword. And during our meeting, our side meeting, so to speak, we came up, or we arrived at the conclusion that using SDF context as a common concept could make sense here. And I actually already tried to update our instance information draft with this new concept, and it seems that it works quite well. So before we had, for example, in the proof shots, this dollar context quality, which could be replaced quite nicely with the new SDF context concept. And also we had in our draft, we had the concept of using an additional off-device proper quality to differentiate the different types of SDF properties, or to introduce a new concept that differentiates different kinds of SDF properties. But using SDF context in this for this purpose also works quite well. So you have the benefit of using schema information or providing schema information that could be then filled by the proof shot. In a short meeting before this SDF meeting, Michael, Carsten, Ari, and I had discussed some additional points and clarifications that might be needed here. So, for example, a litmus test for when to use SDF property and when to use SDF context. But in general, I think aligning or using SDF context and using that as a means to converge with the SDF non-affordance draft, if that also renames the quality yeah, is I think the way forward here. Yeah, maybe that as a short intro. And yeah, if there are any comments or questions, then please go ahead.
Anyone? Arif, yeah?
Yeah, maybe just a quick comment that I think, based on what we discussed right before this call, this makes a lot of sense as the way forward, at least to me, and especially now going forward, documenting a bit on the guidelines and the litmus test. I think that will give us good material on evaluating if this is the right way forward. But at least so far, it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah. So the question would be then if the SDF non-affordance draft would then be also updated in the next version, maybe to use this keyword, or what are your current thoughts about this process regarding?
Yes, this is Jung. Yes, I'm planning to update the draft according to the switch it to the non-affordance to the SDF context. Yes, we will. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Karsten.
Yeah, I think this is just editorial work on several documents at the same time, which is always a bit difficult. And I would expect that we will be throwing a few pull requests at each other in the next couple of weeks, and try to make sure that the documents that are already working group documents and this document are aligned, are trying to do the same thing. And that is, of course, very important in the examples that we use. We should try to make sure that the examples actually express what we are trying to do, and then update the text to properly describe them. I think the authors of the various documents can work together to make this happen, but it might take a little while because of availability.
Thank you, Karsten. Jan, do we have anything more on this item?
I think that's it basically. So yeah, we know the way forward, and yeah, we will update or apply the appropriate updates then in the coming weeks.
Okay, thanks a lot. But then maybe next item that I would like to discuss is the new draft before leaving space to NIPSI. So Rohit, do you want to say a few words on the new draft?
Yeah, I can talk about it quickly. So this draft is called the SDF protocol mapping and our protocol mapping for SDF. And this mostly comes from the NIPSI draft. So we just split it into two. We, as we discussed in the Madrid meeting, we moved out most of the protocol mapping related text here. Along with, and I've also on top of that added CDDL on for BLE and ZigBee, along with also examples for how it would look for a protocol map would look for HTTP, similar to what we presented in Madrid. And we've also updated the NIPSI draft to now reference this new draft.
Karsten.
Yeah, I think this is a really useful document, and given that we essentially split it off from a document that already is a working group document, we probably should have a pretty accelerated process for making this one a working group document as well.
Yeah.
I think the direction is clear. We are not jumping into the weeds here or something. So I think there is there probably won't be much controversy about this document. So I would propose that we go ahead with the adoption process quickly. I would also like to point out that we are creating terms right now that may be very confusing. So there is an SDF mapping document out there already, which is doing something different and actually will combine very well with what this document does. And maybe one of us can do the work and write a paragraph or two how these two documents combine, so it doesn't look like they're competing or incompatible approaches or something like that. They are just using the word map in a different way. And maybe we can also go to a quiet room and think a little bit about where we are using the term map and or mapping, and to consider whether there is a more descriptive, more narrow term that actually might work better.
Yeah, thanks, Carsten. I absolutely agree that we should fast track this draft. So I'll convene with Michael later, and we'll try to put in adoption. And also, yeah, I mean about the name. I guess we are not religious, so as you suggest, we could, just agree on. Before it was protocol bindings, and then I think with Rohit, he started liking protocol mappings. And
I think it was always protocol map in the NIPSI draft. So I think for the initial draft 0, we decided to just keep the same name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I think we should definitely, sit in a room and try to come up with either validate the name or changing it to something more descriptive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything more on this, Rohit?
No, yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, I just wanted to bring up the adoption, but yeah, I think Carsten brought up that point anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing up the naming issue because with adoption comes selecting a draft name. And whatever we do the terminology, the name of the draft will also stick. And if those two items of terminology are not compatible, then we have set up ourselves for a year of confusion.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. So before adopting it, let's come up with a name that we all agree with. So we can do that. Ari.
Yeah, also +1 for fast tracking and adoption and discussing the name. And speaking of draft names, we may want to consider the SDF non-affordance working group draft name soon, so that it doesn't stick too long. Calling it the draft something else than non-affordance.
Right, point taken. We'll fix those things. Okay, so are there any more questions on this item? If not, I guess we can move to our favorite moment of the interim, so NIPSI updates. So Bart.
Hello. Yeah. So thank you for getting the SDF protocol mapping adopted quickly, because it's a normative reference for NIPSI as well, so we can't progress one without the other. What we typically do here is kind of go through all the NIPSI issues. So what we can kind of do that again and see which ones can be closed. I just have one question before we start from the working group, because we have a lot of issues that we've closed, and it kind of takes a while in these meetings to go through them. Would it make sense that we kind of close the issues, close some of the issues that are, like, I would say, clearly solved and don't need don't need any feedback from the working group, so that we don't, I feel like we're going through lots of issues here that, yeah, we fixed this and then close, and I feel like, you know, I don't want to waste folks' time on this call always. So I feel like a lot of the issues we could just close.
So Bart, I think that makes a lot of sense. What I would maybe recommend, if you send an email to the list saying, like, here's a set of issues we think are, like, basically closed, you know, please comment in 1 week if you don't think that's the case.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that going forward. So so this would be the last time where we actually go through issue by issue, and then next time we can focus on things that we really think need feedback. Okay. So then let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? I'm thinking yes.
Yes.
All right. So
Can you increase the font size?
The font.
Sorry?
Yeah, can you somehow shrink the window so that the font increases? Or...
Better?
Better.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So I think all the items that have someone assigned to it, either Rohit or me, were updated. So this is the query parameters percent encoded, and we only percent encoded hash, and the request was to percent encode all reserved characters, which was done. And 153, was that committed?
Yeah, it's in 12.
Yeah, it's in 12. Yeah, so that was committed. So if we're good with this, I'll close this one. No objections. Okay. No. Note that down. This is 139. Yeah. So so here to kind of this was discussed in Madrid. So we're actually taking the manage keyword out because connection is the only thing that's managed. So we're just basically making connection part of the kind of regular path. So it's actions, properties, connection. So actually, this should be connections, right?
Good point.
Yeah, it is connections. I think the description is wrong, and I think what we have in the draft is correct.
Is it correct in the draft? I'll check.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, it's correct in the draft. I think the description here is wrong.
Okay. Move FDS protocol mapping to the separate draft. That was done. We just talked about that. I don't need to go through that. MQTT client object to Boolean. We also did that. So it used to be an empty object. Now it's a Boolean. It was also came out of Madrid. I think Ari made that comment. So that's also done. So I will also close that. URI template for the API paths in the draft. Which was that one? In what section was that, Rohit? Do you remember?
Yeah, these were all the APIs, like the similar like slash connections. Like the query parameters were not as part of the URI template
Okay.
format as per the other RFC.
Yeah, we updated that. Yeah. Okay. So 141. That should also can also be closed. Problem types. So yeah, this was a big discussion. So we did completely revamp the problem types. We now have, so we're not using HTTP problem types anymore, but we're using NIPSI problem types. And then and all the, we used to have a NIPSI prefix for HTTP problem types. So now the problem types don't have that prefix anymore, but they're in their own registry. Now we have not we didn't go back to IANA yet. I don't know if this is the time to do it, or if the time is when we actually take the draft in post working group last call. But yeah, so the change was made in the draft. And maybe, I don't know if this is a good time to reach out to IANA or if we should wait.
Can you quickly show the PR? How does it look like on the draft?
Yeah.
Like the diff. The files changed.
Yeah. So what you could see is that there's a problem type registry now, and then the prefix that we had kind of disappeared. So we got NIPSI problem type invalid ID. So those are basically the changes.
Cool. And did you have a chance to check out any other drafts that may have done a similar thing, setting up their own problem times, or will this be the first?
There are no other problem. There is no draft yet that does that. No.
Okay, so we're setting a precedent here. I think based on a quick look, this looks good to me. But looking forward to hear the feedback from the problem types folks.
Okay, so you think it's a good idea that we we contact them and show them what we're doing?
Maybe Karsten is the best person to say what makes process-wise most sense.
Yeah, so RC 9457. If you look into the chat, you have the number right there. That is the definition of HTTP problem types.
Yeah.
And that RFC has its own registry of widely used common problem types. And this stuff doesn't belong into that registry. But there is no other registry. But we do want to have a registry of the ones we use with NIPSI. So that's somewhat interesting, because in the end, we will have two registries that are allocating code points for the same namespace, which I think we haven't done before. So I think we need to involve both IANA and the working group that did 9457. I think it was HTTP API, but I'm not sure. I have to look it up. And make sure that this is okay for them.
Okay, we can, I can initiate that. So.
Great.
Okay. So I'll leave this one open for now and see where that conversation takes us.
So, Karsten, quick question. What do you think is the best way to do? Is like to submit a draft that tries to do that already, or doing it before submitting a draft?
Well, I would nudge this PR and submit a draft that has this PR merge, so they don't have to imagine things, but can see how we are trying to do things. And then, of course, we can always revert that, so that there's no need to wait with merging things. If that is what we want to do as a working group, and I think that's pretty clear that this is what it is, we are then looking for review by other people whose opinions we need.
Okay, very good. So then I guess the good action for all of us would be, okay, let's take a close look at the PR like today, tomorrow. Then Bart can merge it and go forward. But
Yeah, it's already merged actually. So
okay, but nobody.
so you can look at the document and that's published. Like draft 12 has it.
Okay, then never mind.
So look, if you look at the document and you think it's okay, then I'll write an email to HTTP API and can reference the document and ask for clarification.
Should we document this in the issue?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Limitations on extensions. Yeah, this is it's some limiting text that Ari found. We actually reworded it, so we can also look at that. How we reworded that. 136. So we basically took out the limitation that extensions must be compound APIs. So if everybody's okay with this, then especially Ari, then I would close this one as well.
Yeah, I think it's better, but I still wonder why it has this detail and it needs to be about complex operations. Because is it that you want this extension point for a specific kind of extensions, or would a broader set of extensions that are not about, let's say, more complex, but this is a new ways to do things?
Sorry, let me go back to
So if you look at the text.
Where am I now? Sorry, extensions. Oh, I'm pointing back to the.
Just click on files changed.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them here. Ah, okay. Yeah.
So it says execute complex set of NIPSI operations in a single API call. What about if I want to do a simple thing?
I said, or may want to perform an operation that can deliver an outcome more efficiently than NIPSI API.
Okay, maybe the second part is maybe then more relaxing. But I wonder if it's not more complex and it's not more efficient, it's just a new thing. Would it then be a different extension mechanism?
No. Yeah.
Well, this is formally just the reason we give for why NIPSI is extendable. It doesn't say you can only do the things that are mentioned in those reasons. So maybe we can weaken that link by adding an example, for example, and we are done.
Yeah, maybe that would make sense. Because now it seems a bit formative that you're saying like only certain kind of
Yeah.
extensions are okay.
Yeah,
But you can say, for example, that kind of things, then it would be
Okay.
So we stay on that screen. Go ahead, Ari.
Yeah, but then maybe the bigger question is like, or did you have in mind that those different kind of extensions would go to different place, or would all extensions go here, or how would actually NIPSI be extended? I mean, well, of course, we have like some protocol map extensions. That's kind of obvious.
Yeah, I mean, and then the text does describe that there's, there's extensions that allow you to kind of build new API extensions, and then there's protocol mapping that allows you to extend into new protocols.
And okay. So you're saying there's basically 3 different ways to extend NIPSI.
2.
Or 2. Okay. So what protocol maps and this?
Yeah, but that's so this section is specifically on extensions, but then there's a section on extendability that has both of them in there, right? So
okay.
So I think this is probably in that section. No.
Okay, and will it be that like after, or would it be that okay, NIPSI v1 extensions will go to the extension path element, but there might be NIPSI v2 that then uses some other path elements?
No, I don't think. I mean, why would we do that? Is there do you see like a reason?
I'm not now, and I hope we don't need to do new versions.
Yeah.
Definitely. What I'm thinking about, like, what's the, let's say, generic support mechanisms for extensions, and now you're saying that extensions must leverage the /extensions path element.
Yes.
Is that I mean, we can decide that. Have you considered the alternatives, but basically being allowed to add other kind of path elements? Now that you had connections, maybe you would have, I don't know, models. I know you had models already, but whatever. Or would they always have to be under extensions? And what are the benefits of always having to be under extensions versus just like any other existing NIPSI path element that doesn't conflict with the existing ones?
I think the advantage. I mean, the question is where would they be specified, right? I mean, if you if you specify them in an RFC, right? Are they still an extension then, or just a new element that you're adding in a new RFC, right? Versus like the extension path allows you to add extensions just with a specification versus having to draft a new RFC. No?
So why are we saying this? There is a lowercase should in line 308 that I think needs a little bit more scrutiny. So one reason why we put everything under /extension may be that we want to make sure that different extensions by different people have different names, so we can distinguish them. If that is the objective of this, then this should not be a should. There should be a well-defined way how you get a name for use after /extension, which might be a domain name or something else, a UI, whatever. But we would need to make up our minds. And doing an IANA register set also is fine. It's just that people often want to do something in the privacy of their own companies and don't want to go to IANA with every single thing that they're adding. So another way of accessing this namespace would also be useful. But first of all, is my hypothesis that this is to ensure that different extensions are called differently so you don't confuse them. Is that the reason we are doing this?
Correct. Yeah. So we wanted IANA registered because it's should be interoperable, right? So that it's clear, how to interoperate, how to leverage an extension. And the reason it should is exactly the reason, Karsten, that you brought up. And there may be some vendors that do something vendor specific and that do not want to go to the trouble of IANA registering it. That's why the word used here was should. Now, if we want to...
That will never pass ISG. So the first question will be, why is this a lowercase should and not an uppercase should? And the second question will be, if it is an uppercase should, what exactly are the exceptions? And if the exceptions are the protocol developer was too lazy or had some other reasons not to get a registered name, so they made up a name, we are not actually going to have a collision-free system here.
Yeah, correct. But I mean, this happens. Yeah, I mean, this does happen though, right? So the question is, like, should we ensure that we have a collision-free system, or if somebody doesn't want to IANA register, their extension, is that really our problem or is it their problem?
Well, we can simply write must and make it very clearly their problem.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm good with that.
So then, of course, I don't remember what the IANA considerations on that registry are.
It's
so let's take this offline and look at that. That's always a problem when you write an extendable protocol. How do you make sure that the namespaces are properly managed?
Okay, and maybe, yeah, that's a very good discussion. Now I understand better your thinking on extensions. So extensions is like anyone, I could cook up one right now and go forward with. I don't need an RFC for it. Maybe that's one good thing to maybe clarify. And then, as Karsten was kind of pointing to earlier, there is a way, for example, using domain names to avoid conflicts, even without IANA registry. So there are a set of opportunities here, and maybe it would be worthwhile thinking about a bit which way to go. Must is an easy way, but then, yeah, for those who are will violate the must no matter what, it might make sense to say, like, okay, put your domain name in the extension name, and then you will not conflict. But if you want to have a shorter name than your domain name, then register with IANA, for example.
Yeah, but how do we ensure that their domain name is registered?
Well, I mean, of course, you should only use your own registered domain name, but we don't. But essentially, if everyone would go by that rule, you should not have conflicts. But of course, in the same way, anyone can use already registered extension name for other purposes. So it's the same problem anyway. But at least you would have a mechanism that tries to avoid the conflicts. But anyway, maybe a bit of thinking, like, what do you think is the right level here? And I think you could have, first come, first served extension path elements in IANA. Then it's very low overhead to anyone to get that extension if they need it.
Well, I like the IANA path because the extensions are registered and documented, and there's like a bar for the documentation, so that we know that once an extension is registered, it's going to be documented and interoperable. Right, so I think we need to have that. The domain names could potentially be an addition to that for vendor specific.
Yeah, the other fun thing is that what you actually register in section 10.2 are URI templates. So we cannot just say it must be a domain name, but we need to say how exactly that domain name is reflected in that URI template. So let's come up with an example for that, and then maybe it becomes very obvious how to do this.
Right.
So I think, like, to summarize, I guess there's just the two things. Like, first, clarify what kind of extensions are you expected. I think you have a lot of material based on discussion here so far, and then how to register them. So both issues may be good to cover.
Okay, I'll update the this one we didn't work on yet. Action without binary data. So this has been a while also. Let's look at what we changed here. This is all connection management.
So quick question, oh, you changed that, sorry. I was going to ask why is manage still in there, but that's already been changed.
Yeah, it's been removed. So
you do have a manage/transmit in
Sorry?
the extensions? Manage/transmit?
yeah, that is still there, yes. So it's connections and so there's no manage, sorry, it's just transmit. Yeah. And I think transmit moved to
It's an extension, yeah.
It's an extension, yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at -12 right now. Should I be looking at something else?
No, -12 shouldn't have managed transmit, it should have extension transmit.
It has extensions.
It says extensions manage transmit.
Sorry?
It has extensions ID manage transmit.
Okay, yeah, we need to, that's another issue. The managing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Just saw that. Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting you.
Thank you, Karsten. I'm just writing this down.
Maybe just a time check. I would need 5 minutes to discuss when we have the next interim. So maybe still 5-6 minutes, but
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to figure out here what was changed because this is all a while back. I guess also non-request body can contain binary data. So the request, yes. So the request body can, in principle, create or contain any content type. Oh, so. I'm just wondering where this.
I think this might be the wrong PR link.
I'm not seeing this reflected in this text. Okay, we'll leave this open and check it. Inconsistency is an example. So JSON pointer, HTTPS thermometer. JSON pointer is not consistent here.
Yeah, the URL has SDF thing, and then the actual example says SDF object thermometer. So yeah, the example is inconsistent with like the previous part of the sentence.
But this was fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. There's lots of changes in this one here too. Yeah, this is it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this one I will close. Supporting write and read in a single value. Yeah, this is also updated. So this is based.
This was based on what we discussed with RE, where we have where we support different content types, and then also we also support and we added a new NIPSI plus JSON media type to differentiate between a JSON content type that needs to be written versus the other format that we have for multiple reads or writes. I believe this one we actually did have a slide in the last meeting as well.
Yeah, and yeah, this has lots of changes in it, this PR. Yeah, but this is, exactly this NIPSI plus JSON for the JSON formatted body, and then can contain, and here we get can contain any content type payload with the value to write to the property.
Okay, I think this brief look, this looks good. Maybe one that caught my attention, the value is the raw binary data to write to the property. I mean, it may not be binary, it may be still JSON if the value is actually JSON. So maybe it's
I think that's talking about the value field. Like if you use the NIPSI plus JSON format, then you give a value field and you give the base 64. But if you don't give that, the other option is where you do the actual. Oh, it says it on board.
Yeah, no, this line, I think I was reading it too. This one.
Yeah,
okay.
963. Maybe it says that
No, I was reading the one below where it also says raw binary data, but
yeah.
I think you don't mean raw binary, but you mean it is the data. It's not further processed before you write it to the property.
Yes.
Yep. So yes, I think the raw binary way would make it more clear. It is just the actual representation as such.
Yes, not for further processing, but it's the representation, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll leave it at that. What we'll do from now on is like with every draft we release, we'll kind of list the PRs that were updated, and I'll give like the folks like a week to review before we close them. And then if there's stuff that we think that needs to be discussed more, we'll bring it to the interim calls.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bart. Maybe I just need 5 minutes to schedule the next interim meeting. It seems that Wednesday is a good day, so I was thinking if you should have it on September 24th. And does that work for you all?
Yes.
Yeah, works for me too.
Okay, should we keep the same time, Any wishes to change? Maybe asking Rohit, Michael. Yeah, Ari?
1 hour before or earlier would be better, because this is like we accidentally hit the my only conflict on Wednesdays.
Yeah, okay.
So 1 hour earlier or before than what we did today would be better.
Yeah.
Works for me too.
Okay.
Yeah, earlier definitely works for me.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, maybe
Oh,
Michael.
yeah,
might-
right. It's it's
What?
very late for you now. So yeah, maybe then earlier is good. So Rohit doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean, if it is good for California, it's maybe not optimal for the East Coast, but yeah. Okay, so should we say 24th of September and 1 hour earlier than today, which is 9 Helsinki time. Okay,
Yes.
so it's 8 Central European time. Okay, but that's good. Then I will request for the slot right after the call. Any other business briefly in 3 minutes? Okay, if no more questions, I thank you all for attending and working today, and yeah, we see in a bit more than a month.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.